We can use our Z-score to find probability. So if you recall question 3.21, we determined through our normal distribution what the Z-score of each of our observation was. Now, using that score, we can find our probability. The first question asks, the height of a Canadian male is less than or equal to 160 centimeters. That should say, find the probability that the height of a Canadian male is less than or equal to 160 centimeters. First thing we need to do is look up our Z-score, which we determined in the last question, negative 1.43. And then we need to review it on a standard normal cumulative probability table, or ZTable. Now you can find a ZTable online, you can find it in the Open Education resource, you can find a ZTable in the formula guide of the supplemental material for these videos. You can find it on www.z-table.com. There should be a lot of different ways you can find it, and it will always look like this, with your Z first two numbers along the left side and the third number along the top. Now this is the negative values, and then we have the positive values. So it should be about 2 pages. So here we would like to find 1.4 and 3. So 1.4 and 3 for negative 1.43 gets us 0.0764. Now, Z-tables always read the equal to or less. So when we want to know what the height of the Canadian male is less than or equal to 160 centimeters, we know that it is now, the probability is 7.64%. And that's based on our observations. So now we would like to know the height of a Canadian male that is greater than 160 centimeters. So as you recall, Z-tables go backwards. They are equal to or less. So for greater than, what we need to do, if we know that, here is 7.64% at 160 centimeters, that this is 7.64% over here. Well, we know that the remainder is over here. So we can just take 1 and less 0.0764 to determine what the greater is then is. So with that, we get an answer of, sorry, I just need to find my calculator. 1 minus 0.0764, we get 0.9236, or 92.36%. Which would make sense, because 7.64 is to the left of this line at 160 centimeters, and the remainder would be on the other side of it. So we can do that again using the 185 centimeter, and we need to refer to our last question to get our Z-table, our Z-score of 0.56. Referring to our positive side of our probability table, go 0.5 over to the 6, and we get 0.7123. Or 71.23%. That the probability that a height of a Canadian male is less than or equal to 185 centimeters. Finally, we'd like to find that the height of a Canadian male is equal to or between 160 and 185 centimeters. So now, what it's asking is if we know that this is 160 centimeters, we know that somewhere over here, because this would be the 50% mark, this is 185 centimeters. What is the probability that we are equal to or in between these two numbers? And to determine that, we just need to find the probability of our Z-score for negative 1.43, and we would less our Z-score for 0.56, and we get, sorry, actually it should be the opposite, because we would start on this side, so we would have 0.7123 less 0.0764, and we would get 0.6377, or 63.77%.